A bodhisattva is like the Buddhist spiritual warrior that decides that they cannot bear the suffering of living beings. Much like when you look around the world today, you think, I just cannot bear what's happening to so many people. I can't bear it. Now, a bodhisattva thinks, okay, well, what am I going to do about this? I'm not really in a position now to help that much. But if I become an enlightened being, I think I could help a lot. And so it's really that a person decides they want to help others to the best of their ability and they can't bear their suffering. That's like the first wish. Like, I wish I could end the difficulties, the pain that living beings experience over and over again. And to fulfill that wish, I'm going to become the best Buddha doctor there ever was. Move over, Grey's Anatomy. Here comes Buddha Joe. Way better Buddha doctor, right? Buddha doctor. And you can even just think about what benefit you've received from the teachings of Buddha, who taught 2,600 years ago. And you've received this benefit from the teachings of this one enlightened being. That's the power. And we also think that when you become a Buddha, you are able to emanate yourself in countless forms for all beings, endlessly. You're no longer identifying yourself as this meaty body. You're like a subtle body, a light body, and you have the ability to be helping all living beings simultaneously, dependent on their karma. So say this one person has the karma to hear a song on the radio that lets them know they're going to be fine. You can be the song. Wouldn't you like to be a song? You could be the bird song that makes people feel comfortable and like everything's going to be okay. Like people after, I think it was World War II, there were people in places where once they heard the bird song again, it meant that they were going to be able to live again and grow food and things were getting back to normal. So it could be the bird song. You could be anything, a teacher. If the person has the karma, you could be a teacher. And if collectively living beings have the karma like us to meet a Buddha that actually says they're a Buddha, hey, I'm a Buddha, and I'll show you the whole path that I took. That's really good karma. I know it feels like collectively we have some really bad karma right now as humans, and we do. In some ways, this is a degenerate time. It's even got that label, okay? A degenerate time. But in some ways, we have amazing karma to be here at a time where we get the whole path to awakening if we choose it. So a bodhisattva, bodhi is awakening, and sattva is someone determined to become awakened, a vehicle of awakening. They've made themselves this vehicle of awakening. They're going there. They're in Buddha school and they're going. They're headed that way. That is a bodhisattva. And there are many things that we do to develop that wish. That wish isn't easy to develop, the spontaneous wish that never leaves you. So very, very high attainment. And one thing that blocks that ability, as you can imagine, is if you want to free all living beings from their suffering and give them bliss that is not, never experiences the sufferings that we do now. If you have that wish, it's because you love all living beings. So we went through that before, didn't we? Trying to understand how we can develop universal love. universal compassion. But what blocks these things is our favoritism towards some. Like we have a few favorites, don't we? Of all the billions just on this earth of humans, we just got a couple favorites, not very many. And we have a few that we really don't like. There's a few we just really can't imagine putting them on the enlightenment wagon with us, as to sit right beside us. You know, no, no. And then we have all the other billions that we're just indifferent towards. That's our biggest problem, is the indifference we have towards almost everyone, almost every living being. And so what we're practicing now is a meditation and a daily practice called equanimity. Equanimity. And you might have heard of equanimity in regards to circumstances, where we learn how not to let our mind go up and down with external circumstances. We become peaceful, like a strong, tall tree that isn't moved by a strong wind. You know, it's not going to come uprooted. It's rooted, and um, and it's changing circumstances don't change our peaceful mind. Now, equanimity in regards to living beings, we call it immeasurable equanimity. And that means it's immeasurable towards all immeasurable living beings. It's towards living beings. And so we're trying to get rid of the partiality and have instead, in its place, a warm, affectionate feeling towards everyone. And eventually, a feeling like we love everyone we meet or think about, like a mother loves her dearest child. That's not indifferent, is it? It's a lot of feeling right there, a lot of love going on. And the things you hear about Buddha, what he did when he was even just a bodhisattva, when he talks of his past lives, you know, he had great love for every being. He encountered this starving tigress with little baby cubs. And he felt so sorry for her. She saw her baby cubs. They were also starving. She didn't have enough in her body to produce milk for them. And he couldn't bear her suffering and the little cubs suffering. And he was fearless about taking rebirth. You know, he saw himself at that point as just, a traveler passing through life after life. And so he allowed himself to be eaten by this tigress. He gave her his blood, and then she wanted more, and he laid down his life for a tigress. He had that much love. I get that because I really love these foster kittens, okay? I love them. And I have to love them all rather equally in a sense, okay? You know, like a mother loves all her children. You want your mom or a mom, you think a mom really getting it right, or a dad loves all their children equally. But there's no limit to their love. Right? They have one child and their heart opens with all this love. But then they have another child and then their love just increases. They have more love because they love that child equally. Then they have another child and then another, and then they're really tired. And they love them all. Oh, but it's difficult, you know? They love them all. They love all their kids. Now, I know this in a perfect world, this is how it works, right? And we know that it doesn't always work that way. It does cause so many problems for children and their families and parents when it doesn't feel equal. But this is the kind of equality that we want to develop. This equal love where our ability to love just grows by every person we meet or think about. Our love grows, whether or not they're difficult. So we put them in three categories, which we're going to meditate on again. There's the friend category, and then there is the enemy category. And that's just the traditional word. You might not want to believe you have any enemies, but there are people that is just like in the eh, aversion category. Ooh, don't like them. We all got someone that's irritating, something, and then we put all the rest in this indifference category, everyone else. You know. And we do it because of how they make us feel, essentially. We put them in those categories. We project those labels onto them. You're a friend. I don't like you. I don't care about you. I'm indifferent because of how they affect us. And even in the course of one day, you might have that friend changing categories. You ever had that? Mm. When Joanne and I went to Georgia together, is she here today? So I'm not talking. No, oh no, I'll be talking behind her back. But there were a few moments, like we're friends.
I'm here, Joanne.
Oh shoot.
Go ahead.
Oh no. Well, you're gonna know exactly these moments I'm talking about. We're like such good friends, having fun, and we were having such fun. But then also there were moments where I we're sharing a hotel room and I look on the thing and it's on heat. Heat. This is not the dead of winter, mind you. I was like, oh no. Okay, I'll just wait till she falls asleep. And I'm cranking it down. Ah, so in the course of just one day, right? You remember that moment, don't you? And I was like, what? You've got the heat on. It it all had to do with temperature, our varying likes and dislikes, I feel. And even the course of one day, you can put a person in these categories. Say you go somewhere with your romantic partner, someone that's like a romantic friend. Even in the course of a day with your dearest, your most dear person, you can see yourself changing labels slightly if you really look. Like for example, you're having a wonderful time. You've gone to this place, you have all these wonderful things to do, this coffee shop, this restaurant, this view, this place to see, and it's so lovely. And then maybe you get into a little argument over something. Missy and I argue, it's always the dumbest things. We don't argue very often anymore, but when we do, it's just like we hurt each other's feelings. That's all. Nothing real, just like a little perceived thing. Oh, you know, some, I think one happened a couple months back where I felt like she was saying I was just dumb or something because, there are things that I'm not very good at doing. And like, she just can't believe it that I could be that bad at something. Like, I don't know, finding my way somewhere, something like this. So maybe you have a little thing where you just intuit that she didn't mean it at all. I recall, I can't remember what it was, but she didn't mean that at all. But I perceived it. So just a little perception. You have this where your partner hurts your feelings or you hurt their feelings. And then for a brief time, what category are they in? Oh gosh, they slip into when you're in the middle of the argument. Let's be honest about what category they're in. They're in the aversion category. You have an actual aversion to this person. Then you get over it, but you're still feeling a little distant, aren't you? And then where are they now? In different category. Distant. You feel distant towards them. I know. And then if they were to break up with you, what category would they be in? And then years later, you forget about them and then you decide to look them up on Facebook. And oh my gosh, they're in the indifferent category. When at one point you were hopelessly in love. Mm. And what does this really have in common, these situations? It's that we categorize them based on how they make us feel, right? We would not want our mother to do that, would we? We would not want our mom to love us only if we were good and not when we were bad, because we all were teenagers and we were all sometimes bad. With these kittens, obviously, Banyan, that I airlifted from the tree, that instantly thought I was his mother to the point of looking for nipples all over me. Okay. After 2 hours, now we're very close, as you can imagine. And I can do like anything to this kitten, right? We do have a special relationship. I want to be more attached to this kitten and spend more time with them. I want to spend more time with Banyan, who doesn't need me at all. I don't. It's the opposite. I just spend all the time with the kittens that are still hissing at me because they need this love. So, can we come to look at the people that are in our aversion category and go, you are just like me. You just want to be happy and free from pain. And you have very regrettable ways of going about that search. But you know what? I'm going to love you despite it. I mean, that's when you start to get into the realm of holy beings, how they feel. I love you despite it. I love each living being despite. It doesn't matter what they do, how they make me feel. I love them. My love supersedes all of this. And so this is really a very profound way of looking at the world, where you start to try to get rid of your biases and shine the light of awareness on where these biases come from. Buddha, in one of the scriptures, said, he was telling Ananda, you need to teach the four measurables to all the monks, the young, the old, they all need to learn this, because he said, teach these four immeasurable minds to the young monks and they will feel. So this is the result of practicing equanimity and doing this meditation, but also in your daily life, trying to reduce your partiality, open your heart to even those who are difficult. So they will feel secure, strong, joyful. I mean, don't you guys, when you like this, when you like to just go around feeling secure, strong, joyful, without afflictions of body or mind. So it's got like healing properties for you, or the karma of having good health of body and mind. It's good health karma. And for the whole of their lives, they'll be equipped to practice the pure way of a monk, or a pure way of a spiritual practitioner. I know these are real good ones. And you can see how this could happen, because I'm going to stop sharing for a second, because I think we don't realize the pain that lacking equanimity causes us, right? Oh, I want to open my heart to all living beings, but in one sense, opening our heart and getting rid of these different categories frees us from the pain of having enemies. It gives us joy of not meeting a stranger. You know those people that never met a stranger? My grandpa was one. He never met a stranger, okay? Just loved, seemed. And and it's painful for us to have these divisions where in reality we're all the same. We all want to be happy and free from suffering. We all want that. We have different ways of going about it, but just like me, I love this term, just like me. So when we're meditating, go, just like me, they want to be happy. They're going about it in the most annoying fashion I could ever imagine, and they're on my team at work. Can I love them anyway? Can I love you, though you're difficult? Hmm. Mm. It's painful for us to find them difficult. So it will help us to look at people that we have some aversion towards and reduce that feeling. It's like a wave in the ocean. When the wave sees herself as a wave, separate from all the rest, she experiences elation when she's at the height of her wave, at the crest, right? But what about when the wave dies? And it's very frightening. But if the wave realizes she's part of the ocean, and she's it's just a cycle. She's a wave, but she's also part of the ocean. There's not that fear coming. This is an analogy used for impermanence and emptiness usually, but I feel like this is good for equanimity as well. When we realize we're part of this whole. And that is one way we look at this group where we have such indifference is we think, it seems to me that they don't matter to me. We've put them in that category because they don't appear to matter. But in reality, we could not live without others. How long would you live if you were stranded on a deserted island? We could try this. We could do a retreat on a little island in Florida. There's all these little islands. No, you don't want to try it? Even just, all of us together. I wonder what would happen. Oh, you like that idea. Well, we can kayak to an island with a picnic. It's true. If you landed on a deserted island, it would be terrible emotionally. How long would you live? Because we're interconnected. Others do everything for us. Maybe it's not the individual, but collectively, we're part of this tapestry of life. We're merely a single strand, but we can't live without the others. Who built the roads you drive on? Who put in the cell phone towers? Who picks the food that we eat? Do we do that? Let me tell you, when you plant things in your yard, it's a crapshoot whether it's going to live. Even in Florida, it's still like, really. So we depend on others to have all this food, and everything that we enjoy is because of others. So that group of beings we're indifferent towards, we need them the most, actually. We benefit from them the most. The indifference we feel is a veil over the truth, which is that we are interconnected as a wave is connected to the rest of the water in the ocean. We're absolutely part of the same. And so we need to shine a light on that and see the truth. And what you'll do in this meditation is you actually use your analytical mind to analyze why you've put them in the category and how can you free yourself from seeing them that way. You you probably noticed this last time that we analyzed. Think, okay, Why is this friend in this category? Why are they in there? Is it because, they've been kind to me and, they said a few kind things and I put them in this category? Or you can pick someone you're very attached to. You can put them in that category, you know. But is it dependent still on the way that they act towards us? Do we stifle their freedom in certain ways because we want them to behave in a way that will make us feel good? Mhm. You can pick any person for that, but it's someone that you have a natural affection towards in this category. You can see the visualization of this. I think it's this direction. Oh, it's this direction. Hold on, guys. There we go. So when we visualize, we have a friend directly in front of us. And then we have a stranger and an enemy that we choose to focus on, right? And then we start to analyze why we put each one in this category. Why are they there? Is this meaningful, or is this arbitrary and based on our own selfish desires? One way of looking at others to develop equanimity is thinking we have the same drives. Just like me, they have the same wish to be happy. So you look at that enemy and you think they have the same wish to be happy. They also have the same mistaken views. They also put others in friend, enemy, stranger, and it also causes them pain. I'm in the enemy category. Are they crazy? You think? In fact, sometimes all it takes for you not to like them is just for them to have a little aversion towards you. They don't like your sunny personality. Annoying, right? Okay. You know, now fine. It takes so little, doesn't it, for us to put them in that category. They have the same mistaken views, causing them to suffer over and over again. And also, every living being has the same potential. We call it Buddha nature, but it's the same potential for happiness. They have the same potential for peace. Just like my little kittens, they all have the same potential to be docile, sweet house cats. And that is what I focus on, right? Not that one loves me, not that the other likes to play with me, but actually the one that hisses at me has the same potential and needs my love the most. And we learn how to have this feeling, ideally, so strong eventually that it feels like a mother or father with their dearest child. You love them that much. That's holiness, isn't it? That's what to me, holiness is having that for others. I read a quote by Gandhi. Someone asked him, "What would you do if you knew someone was in a plane flying over your ashram and was going to had a bomb in their plane? What would you do then?" And he said, "I would pray for the pilot. I pray for them." Isn't that interesting? So if there's someone in your aversion category, a broken person, someone told me this too the other day, broken people make broken decisions. And then sometimes those broken people have a lot of power, like get elected to, I don't know, the highest offices in the world, possibly. Broken people making broken decisions, for sure. Would you be like Gandhi and pray? Should we do that? Pray for the pilot. It's just a thought. I'm a big Gandhi fan, so you guys can decide what you think. But we are encouraged to shine a light on why it is with our analytical mind, why it is we put them in that category, and why it doesn't make sense. Why logically it makes no sense to do that, to put them in that category. We see them from our projections, but we're not seeing things as they really are. Like we're indifferent towards every living being, but actually we depend on every living being. And we're very indifferent towards most of them. That's not how it really is. We're intimately connected. So it's kind of like, you know, so Missy was walking the dog about 10:30 at night. I did not go to this one. I must have had a headache or something that why I didn't go. Or it probably was just because it was 10:30 at night. And the dog I walk will never go past 8 p.m. But often I just walk with her anyway. But something must have been going on, okay? I really regret I didn't go on this one. I regret it. But she went for this walk and then she's walking by our one friend's house. So we're really close. We go kayaking with this friend. And she has her headlamp on because she's looking at spiders. Because in Florida, there's like millions of spiders in every lawn, pretty much little wolf spiders. So if you shine your flashlight or a headlamp on them, they sparkle like glittering, looks like glittering fairies. I mean, it's magical, honestly. So, so cool. So she's like looking at in people's yards, seeing how many spiders and the glittering, in their headlamps. And then in our friend's front yard, there's this woman standing there that looks to be topless, like no clothes on from the upper half, and 70 years old, mind you. And Missy's just shining her headlamp, getting closer, shine because she thinks she must be in like some kind of neutral color bodysuit type of thing. When someone looks like they're naked and they're not naked, and she's just getting closer, shining it because she can't see. Her mind is not seeing. I could not be seeing what I'm seeing. So she's got to shine the light to figure it out. And turns out she was naked, half naked. Yeah. And luckily in our friend's yard that we feel close enough to for her to instantly text him and be like, "Hey, what's up with a naked lady in your yard?" And then he texts back, "What? Hold on, I'm coming right out." Tom and Joanne. But they're also friends with the nudists that live across the street. So he's like, "Oh yeah, they're just uh new." Well, they said naturalist, and Missy's like, "What?" Because our friend's a naturalist, and that just means she knows a lot about nature things. Nope, a nudist. These people you would never guess. I mean, they have like all the Mickey Mouse inflatables for Christmas and Halloween. They like Mickey Mouse on their RV. I mean, they're so, I mean, you would just think, I mean, but she had to shine that light to see what was actually there, what's really there. And similarly, we have to shine the light of our mindfulness and wisdom and think, okay, why are they really in that category? Is this true? Is it true that someone is standing, a 70-year-old lady, half naked in the yard? Is it true? Got to beam that headlight right in the middle there. You got to beam that light of wisdom. Is it true that they're inherently an object of aversion, or have I merely labeled them that way? You know, can I unlabel them? Can I do that? All right, so we're going to try this meditation where you have those three beings: friend, enemy, stranger, and we focus on each one individually, right? And then at the end, so we start out with the enemy. to the left. And then we focus on the stranger. And then we focus finally on the one in the middle, straight ahead of us that we already love and have affection towards. And then we let at the end the feeling of affection for that person and try to spread it to the other two, where we feel this open-hearted love for the one we previously found difficult, but we decided we love them anyway. We spread it to the enemy and this stranger. You imagine his form, it takes the form of beams of light that connect your hearts. Your love goes out in beams of light. And then at the end, you send it out to all living beings in an infinite, vast beams of light. There's your big tapestry of light. Everyone's connected, coming from your heart. You're just pumping out love. You just imagine it, because imagining creates the karma to really do it and have that feeling in the future. Okay, so if you want to get comfortable, for meditating, you want to have a nice straight back, because this helps you to stay alert, to breathe from your diaphragm. So you'll breathe through your nostrils and breathe so you feel your belly rising and falling, not your chest. If you wish, you can put your hands like mine, like in this gesture of meditative concentration. So you can meditate any way you feel comfortable. If you want to do this, you place your hands on your lap with your palms facing upward. Then you rest your right hand in your left and allow your thumbs to touch, forming a bridge. Breathe and relax. Choose someone that you have some aversion towards, that would be in the enemy category, and visualize them or feel that they're there in the space in front of you, towards your left and facing you. Begin by contemplating why it is they're in this category. Why do you have aversion or irritation or resentment or fear towards them? Just like me, they always want to be happy. How do they strive for happiness? just like me. They don't want to feel pain. Have the things that have caused you to have aversion towards them arisen from them seeking happiness or freedom from pain. If they were to do some kind thing, very kind, would you make them a friend? Imagine what they could do to become your friend. Friends become enemies, and enemies become friends. Are this is this person in this category only because of the way they make me feel? Could I open my heart to them despite the way they act? You can even make a wish to open your heart to them. And now turn to someone that you have indifference towards. Pick someone and imagine they're to your right, also facing you. Someone you see sometimes, but you don't have any real feeling towards. And close your eyes. We dedicate the good karma we created together today and make special prayers for Nanny Pat and Kristen, young people that have cancer. May they have swift healing and peace of mind. We pray for Turindu's mother and Dr. Susan, who recently lost their husband of many decades. May they have peace of mind and healing. May our prayers bring them some comfort. We'll also pray and make dedications for everyone in America experiencing, or everyone in the world experiencing food insecurity. May our prayers and dedication bring them sustenance. May whatever is causing them to face food insecurity end. And we dedicate our good karma to our own enlightenment for the sake of all beings without any exception. And finally, we dedicate to the enlightenment of all sentient beings. May everyone quickly realize the light of their true nature. Thank you so much.
When the world cries and snows.